All right, you guys, welcome in to another Bad Dad Tayro's Reactions. This is going to be a very special one. I was going to try to do a live on my Rumble channel yesterday in celebration of 10 years remembering Prince's being gone. It's hard to believe it's been 10 years already. April 21st, 2016. I remember exactly where I was at. But anyway, in remembrance of Prince, the Prince estate and the YouTube channel released a new song, an unreleased song, and I'm not sure exactly what album it was supposed to have been on. It was on some kind of a deluxe edition, I think, that it was supposed to have been on. But it's a song called With This Tear, and I couldn't even watch it yesterday, honestly. I was going to, and then I decided to do a reaction today. And I know for some people, even myself, sometimes I like people who were Justin Bieber, the Beliebers, or Taylor Swift's Swiftie fans, or something like that. Sometimes I think it's just so ridiculous that they can be so caught up in a celebrity or a musician and how they get emotional over it, everything. And I understand. I really do understand, because I didn't know that it was going to hit me like it has. And I didn't know Prince, obviously. I grew up on his music from the time I was in junior high. I was probably 11 years old when I was first introduced to Prince. Little Red Corvette was my very first experience video. And then Purple Rain came out shortly after I first was exposed to Little Red Corvette. And from then on, I've been pretty much a lifelong fan. So imagine, as with many of you, it was kind of emotional to think it was 10 years ago. 10 years, man. Anyway, let's get into this. Let's start it off the right way. Thank you for being here. Welcome to Bad Dad Tayro's Reactions. I also have a Tayro channel and a music channel. I'll talk to you about those later. All right, let's do this. Let me make sure my volume is up on this. Let's see where this goes. With This Tear, I just already know it's going to be an emotional one. So let's check it out.
When I was younger, I always said that one day I was going to play all kinds of music and not be judged for the color of my skin, but the quality of my work. And hopefully that will continue.
And you were, Prince, and you were. You affected so many people's lives. Let's go back here. Let's start this one again. Man.
When I was younger, I always said that one day I was going to play all kinds of music and not be judged for the color of my skin, but the quality of my work. And hopefully that will continue.
With this tear, how they want. I long for you to talk to me like you did that night in the restaurant. You spoke of love so openly, and again you promised me that you never leave. But now you're gone. With this voice I decall.
right. See, typically for a reaction, I would do, I would have some kind of interruptions. I would pause and I would be adding commentary throughout the video over the song. Now I'm going to go back. I didn't want to interrupt that because, again, it was like this remembrance and just paying respects. If you're watching this on YouTube, this channel is not monetized at this time anyway, so I'm not really worried about that as far as the copyright issues go. But looking at all of those different scenes of him performing, man, hold on a second here. Okay. As I was saying, I had to make an adjustment here, but as I was saying, all of those little clips they showed of him were so many different times that he set the standard. And as corrupt and crazy as we're seeing that the music industry and Hollywood and all of that are these days, he was one who stood for the rights of an artist. He stood his ground, and the industry loved him and they hated him. I remember when Emancipation was released, and one of the songs, I can't think of which song it was right offhand. For some reason, the title of the song is escaping me, but Mayate, he was married to her, and she was pregnant, and he used the sonogram sound of the baby's heartbeat as the beat for the song. And that was the first single, I think, that he released off of that album. And I have a personal story that I'll share real quick. Two of my very good friends a long time ago, I would say two of my best friends in the world at that time, who were also huge Prince fans, when Prince did the first year of the celebration where you could go, fans were invited to come to Paisley Park. And we went up there, and we were all drinkers. I know Prince wasn't into all of that kind of stuff, but we went up there. That was my first time being introduced to Macy Gray. I'm pretty sure Jill Scott was at that event. Got to see members. He did 6 days of this. It was a week-long thing. He did 6 days of night parties and things like that, and then there was the final night. He did a concert. It was off of Paisley Park's estate grounds, and it was held in an auditorium somewhere there in I don't remember if it was in Minneapolis or not. We didn't get to go into First Avenue, which was the club that he either owned completely or partially owned. A lot of the scenes in Purple Rain were filmed in that venue. We didn't go in there that I remember, but I do remember we drove past. We got some pictures of it. One interesting little story was I had a broken leg at the time, and I was a smoker, and you weren't allowed to smoke on the grounds. So you would stand in line to get in, and they did a whole tour of the not museum, but it was set up kind of in a museum fashion. But we got to tour much of Paisley Park Studios. When we went through, we could see in the studio glass, and a group called the Funky Bald Heads were in the midst of recording at that time, so we got to see part of that. It was one of the nights for the after parties, though, which is where like Macy Gray performed, and a couple of other groups and solo artists performed, and then there was obviously music and dancing and things like that. Got to see all of these different memorabilia, the outfits that he wore in Purple Rain. That's the first time it hit me when I saw his motorcycle, the Corvette from oh man, the black and white movie. Yeah, you guys can let me know. I'll remember it after I end recording here. Anyway, saw one of his outfits that he had worn in Purple Rain, the movie, and I thought, man, I didn't realize he was that small. Like, he was a tiny guy, but he could steal your woman in heels, I'm telling you. But anyway, I was on crutches and I had an air cast on my leg because, again, my leg was broken and I needed to smoke a cigarette. I was kind of fiending, I guess, for a cigarette. So I, on my crutches, hobbled all the way from the studios. You had to go outside the gate, and you could go onto the city property or whatever outside of the gates, and you were allowed to go out there and smoke. That's where you had to go. So I was sitting on the curb and I was smoking my cigarette, and I was far enough away from the entrance of the gate that it wasn't going to cause any issues for people going in. And I heard this car, and I remember looking over, and this window rolled down. I couldn't see anybody in it, but the window rolled down, and I heard the voice say, "Hey, you know that's really bad for you. You should stop." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "What'd you say?" And the voice, a male voice, says, "You shouldn't be smoking. It's terrible for your health." And then the window went back up and the car took off on the street, and it was a purple Prowler. Little did I know, not until later, that it was most likely, I couldn't see the face, so I can't say for sure, but most likely it was Prince. And I know he was anti-smoking, was very much into health. He was vegan for a long period of time. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that. That's a cherished memory. I got to see him, aside from that live, I got to see him 2 more times live. The city that I live in, one of his concerts, he did an after party show for the One Night with You tour. No, I'm sorry, I was in jail when he had done that. And then I got out of jail, and the following month, my band, it was a venue we had played anyway several times, but the following month we got to play on the stage, and that's all I could kind of think was, hey, Prince played this stage too, and my band got to play that same stage. And it was just, I'm just saying, man, it's, again, like I opened this video, sometimes you think it's ridiculous that people have such a connection to artists and singers and celebrities that they don't personally know, and they get I got teary-eyed watching that. Not teary-eyed, I had tears watching that, just looking at all the memories. The time that he, for the Grammy Awards, got up and played with Tom Petty and members of it was While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and he did this solo. It wasn't the Eagles. Who were the members of the band that were up there? Anyway, the rest of the people that were up there playing, it was a George Harrison memorandum or whatever, and he got up there and ripped it. And there's funny stories that go off from that, from where he threw his guitar up in the air, and where did it go? Where did it go? He had planned all of this stuff. And I remember the drummer for that show, there was a clip I'd seen on YouTube of him talking about it. And he said that Prince was not only entertaining the crowd at the Grammy show, he was entertaining the band that was behind him. They were being entertained by his showmanship. And again, I don't know how many times I can say it, but I really miss him. I miss his music. He would be 67 now, so I don't know if he would still be putting out music, but I wouldn't be surprised if he would still be. I do remember, again, going back to the tour of the Paisley Park studios, the tour guide told us when we came up on the vault, we got to see the vault door. We got to see the basketball court that's famous from the Dave Chappelle court, or skit that he played basketball against Chappelle's Eddie Murphy's or Charlie Murphy's crew or whatever. We got to see that basketball court. We got to see the bridge that was from Graffiti Bridge. So many gold and platinum albums that were lined along this hallway that we went down in this like basement area. In the entrance, he had a dove on each side in a cage hanging up above the entranceway, the foyer or whatever you want to call it, which is the same setting that he had done a interview with Mel B from the Spice Girls in that same area. There's just so many things that I remember, and he was a large part of my life from childhood on. And I just figured this would give me an opportunity to kind of share some of those stories with people who might also appreciate them. The song was beautiful. Again, I don't think that it was previously released. I'm pretty sure it was unreleased. And I thought they did a fantastic job showing all of the different clips, the little montage of all the different things that he did, all of the different ways that he broke ground for not only other musicians, but he set the standard in the industry. He helped so many artists, many female artists. He was all about supporting female artists. He gave the Bangles the hit Manic Monday, the discovery of Vanity and the Apollonia 6, and just so many. He gave Sinead O'Connor Nothing Compares to You. Just so much. So Chaka Khan, he redid. That song was his. I Feel For You was his song that Chaka Khan covered in the 80s as a comeback from her being so famous during the 70s with Rufus. And there's just so much. He had an impact that I don't know that a lot of people in today's generation would even realize how he broke ground for so many of them. Quickly, there's another story of DMX talking about how gangster he was, and he had called him over in a nightclub one time in LA, and DMX sat there, and for like an hour and a half, Prince broke down to DMX why it was important for him to retain his masters and how to do it. And he was all about supporting artists. He was all about seeing people flourish. And just so many people have great stories about him. And we miss you, Prince. We miss you a lot. And thank you guys for being here. As I said, I have a music channel of my own. You can find right now you can't click links in my description for whatever reason on YouTube, but you can find the link to that in the About section of this channel. You can also find the link to my tarot channel, which I think what I'm going to do, I'm feeling kind of led as I was watching that. I think I'm going to do a tarot reading based off of the lyrics of this song with this tear. So if you would like to join me in that, I'll see if there's a way that I can link that to where you can follow directly over to my tarot channel and come check out the tarot reading. Let's see what we get out of this, because there was a lot going on there. To give commentary on the song other than just on Prince, to give commentary on the song. Let me see if I can pull up these lyrics, because the way everything was worded, I couldn't tell if he's talking about someone who is gone now, like we're remembering him, or if it was like a love that had left, because it was with this tear I thee want. I long for you to talk to me like you did that night in the restaurant. You spoke of love so openly, and again you promised me that you'd never leave, but now you're gone. With this voice I thee call. Sometimes I catch myself calling your name when you're not there at all. Please tell me what I did wrong. Why must I hear your voice inside my head all day and all night long? It's not fair. With these arms I held you when you told me you were dying. I had less courage, it's true, and you wrote every day, writing about things we could do. when your pain went away, but all that went away was you. It is about someone who left this realm. With this tear I thee one, I long for you to talk to me like you did that night in the restaurant. With this tear I thee one. And then he repeats that again at the closing, but now you're gone. With this tear. Is this about his dad? His dad was a famous jazz musician in the Minneapolis area. A nightclub musician. Prince was playing in nightclubs from the time he was at the age of my age that I discovered him. It was a previously unreleased studio recording from his legendary vault, recorded November 1991. It would have been in my final year of high school then. At Paisley Park, the track had been newly mixed and mastered by Grammy-nominated engineer Chris James, who did Frank Ocean, Janelle Monáe, Miguel. Features Prince producing, arranging, composing, and performing all instrumentation. Yeah, he mastered like 50-something instruments. Shortly after its creation, Prince offered the song to Celine Dion, who recorded her own version in 1992. Wow. See, again, that's another, and she was already famous at that point, she was getting famous, I think. This track is the beginning of a number of unreleased Prince recordings scheduled for release this year as part of the never before released Prince album. Yes. Now, I know a lot of his songs he did not want released. So there's a lot of controversy in his estate releasing songs after him being gone. But for some fans, man, we look forward to it. I just got chills from that. Anyway, yes, we're definitely doing a Tayro reading on this. So if you guys care, if you enjoy Tayro and you'd like to come and join me over there on my Tayro channel, come on over there. Make sure you subscribe over there, and make sure you subscribe to this channel as well. We'll see you guys on the next one, man. Oh, man. Wow. Wow. What an amazing song. All right, we'll see you guys.